Hey there, everyone. Welcome back to the Wise Mindset Guy podcast, where we chat all about the big and sometimes silly things in life. I'm Nat Plastino, and today we're diving into a question that can either feel super inspiring or make you scratch your head and say, I don't know. Today's topic is motivation. What gets us out of bed in the morning, why we keep going, and what we're working towards. So grab a coffee, put on those headphones, and let's chat about what motivates us. And maybe, just maybe, you'll leave here with a little extra pep in your step. Now, motivation. That's a big word, right? It's one of those words that sounds like it belongs in an inspiring TED Talk or a dramatic sports movie. But when you think about it, motivation is really just that inner push, that why behind everything you do. It's the reason you set goals. The thing that keeps you going even when Netflix and a snack sound more tempting and inspiring. Or, maybe that's just me. Let's start with the basics. When you think about what motivates you, it usually comes down to a few common things. Now, if you listen to what psychologists talk about, is two main types. I'm going to go over them. Extrinsic motivation and intrinsic motivation. Don't worry, no pop quiz, I promise. Extrinsic motivation is that outside stuff that pushes you forward. Like getting a paycheck, getting a gold star on your exam, or impressing somebody. This is the I want people to think I've got it all together kind of motivation. It's like when you're at the gym and suddenly, you start lifting weights and with perfect perfection, perfect form, because you see someone looking over and yeah, we've all been there. Now, remember, let me point out that extrinsic is about exterior. I don't usually recommend extrinsic, exterior motivation. I'm more of an interior guy, but I'm just kind of going over the things that, psychologists say that are available, the extrinsic and intrinsic. I'm just going to go over what the differences are really. So then there's, intrinsic motivation, the real deep stuff. This is when you're driven by something inside, like a genuine passion for what you're doing. Intrinsic motivation is wanting to learn a new skill just because you're interested, or running a marathon because it's something you want to prove to yourself. So why doesn't this matter? Well, knowing what motivates you, whether it's outside approval or that inner drive, can help you understand your goals better. Plus, knowing what fuels you makes it easier to stay on track when life throws a few bumps along the way, which, let's be real, it totally will. It happens all the time. All right, so let's dive deeper. A huge part of motivation is figuring out your why. What's that bigger reason you're working towards something? I mean, let's be honest. If your why is just because my parents want me to be, or everyone else is doing it, it's probably not going to get you out of bed on those hard days. So how do you find your why? Well, let's keep it simple. Here's a fun exercise. Think about what would make future you really proud. Picture yourself in 5 or 10 years. What would you be doing that would make you go, wow, I actually did that? It could be, a job you're passionate about, a dream house, being able to travel the world, or even just finding some kind of peace and happiness. Or hey, maybe your big dream is having a dog farm where you can be surrounded by puppies all day. Honestly, I support that all the way. Setting goals and finding out that why is like building a roadmap for yourself. And life goals don't have to be huge. They can be things like wanting to have a morning routine you actually stick to, or finally writing that book you've had, in your head for years, and you're finally doing it. Your motivation could be all sorts of things. The key is to make sure it's something that actually excites you, even a little bit. Now, let's get real for a second. Motivation can come and go. One day you're fired up, working on all your goals, feeling like a superstar. And the next day, you just want to sit on the couch with a bag of chips. Trust me, that's completely normal. But there are ways to keep motivation around. First up, break down your big goals into smaller, manageable steps. When you look at a huge goal, like let's say, I want to write a novel, it can feel overwhelming. But if you say, I'm just going to write 200 words a day, it's way more doable. Little steps add up. It's like, running a marathon. You don't try to sprint the whole way or you'll probably pass out a mile 3, right? Another trick, celebrate the small wins. It might feel silly, but even just rewarding yourself with a little treat or a break when you hit a mini goal can give you that extra push to keep going. And sometimes you just need a motivational boost from others, whether it's calling up a friend, listening to a pep talk, or putting on your favorite reel, your favorite feel-good song. Finding motivation from others can do wonders. Just make sure it's the kind of positivity that lifts you up and doesn't make you feel like you're falling behind. And if you're listening to this podcast right now for some motivation, then hey, great start. All right, let's talk about life goals for a sec. Because at the end of the day, what motivates you is usually connected to where you want to go in life. Your life goals don't have to be flashy. They just have to mean something to you. And it's okay if your goals change over time too. Maybe right now your big goal is just to get through school or save up for a trip. Later, it might be to start a family or build a career. Here's something I've learned. The people who seem happiest in life aren't necessarily the ones who achieved the biggest goals. They're the ones who achieved the goals that made them feel fulfilled. Whether it's traveling, creating something, or just, being there for the people they care about. Their goals fit who they are. So to wrap it all up, here's the takeaway. Find what motivates you, not what you think should motivate you. Make it personal. Whether it's a big goal or something small, if it ties you up inside, it's worth pursuing. And remember, motivation isn't a constant. It's like the tide. It'll come and go. So when you're feeling low on motivation, remember why you started. And that small steps will get you closer every day. And hey, if all else fails, there's always coffee, right? Thanks so much for tuning in today to the Wise Mindset Guy podcast. I hope you leave here feeling a little more inspired or at least ready to take that next step toward your goals. Don't forget to subscribe if you enjoyed today's chat with me, Nat Plastino. And I'll see you next time.